Hello everyone, I'm welcome back to Tech Block. Today we are unboxing and checking out the newly released Razer Basilisk X HyperSpeed, a very similar mouse to the one we reviewed not too long ago, the Razer Basilisk Ultimate. Both of these mice were released at the exact same time. However, this one happens to be the Ultimate version, and this one happens to be the cut down Basilisk X HyperSpeed version. The Ultimate version will set you back a whopping £170 or 170 USD for a mouse. It's a very expensive mouse that has RGB and a bunch of other cool features that this one doesn't, as this one costs just £60, but it's a very similar mouse, pretty much exact same form factor, which the form factor of this mouse, of which I have the Ultimate version right here, it's very comfortable to use. Like, I really do like this mouse in terms of the design. The one that we have here today, Basilisk X HyperSpeed, it's a very similar mouse to the Ultimate version, but costs significantly less at just £60. Let's take a look at it and see how it compares to its bigger brother, the Basilisk Ultimate. Alright, so we have the package here itself. Let's use the old karambit knife to open this up, of course, as with all my other unboxing videos. So this one comes in a much smaller package. I don't believe this comes with any type of charging dock that you'd normally see with the Basilisk Ultimate or the Viper Ultimate. And right here, taking a look at the setup right here, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Razer charging dock that comes with both the Viper Ultimate mouse that I have right here, also made a dedicated video about this guy, as well as this mouse. It also comes with one of those charging docks. But the Basilisk X HyperSpeed, which we have right here, this one here doesn't come with a charging dock, and instead you're going to be charging it via different methods, which we'll get to in just a moment. So this is the mouse itself, 5G optical sensor, 16,000 dpi of course, so a pretty good sensor here. Bear in mind though that this is not Razer's new Focus Plus 20,000 dpi optical sensor that is featured in this mouse as well as the Viper Ultimate. This is just the standard optical sensor found in previous generation mice, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad sensor by any means. It's still absolutely fine for gaming, and you should really have nothing to worry about. It's still a fantastic sensor, just previous gen. Now in terms of connectivity and the actual wireless technology built into the Basilisk X HyperSpeed, well, there's a reason it's called the HyperSpeed version. That is because it of course features Razer's newly released HyperSpeed wireless technology in a £60 mouse. Previously, if you wanted to experience the HyperSpeed technology, you'd have to pick up either this mouse or the Viper Ultimate, which would set you back well over $100. Whereas with this mouse, just $60, and you get to experience very fast wireless transmission through Razer HyperSpeed. Bear in mind though that Razer's HyperSpeed technology only works with its 2.4 GHz dongle that is of course included inside of the mouse. What makes the Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse quite unique is because it actually features dual mode operation. You can use the mouse using Razer's HyperSpeed technology, but that will of course require you to plug in the 2.4 GHz USB dongle into your device. What makes this mouse quite unique is the ability to quickly switch between Razer HyperSpeed as well as a Bluetooth connection. The Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse features Bluetooth 5.0 technology, so you can simply connect this to any type of Bluetooth device that you want. Without further ado though, let's unbox this guy and take a look at what we actually have inside the box. Right, oh my lord, that was the mouse that just flew out of the box there, whoops. Anyway, right, we got a little booklet here for gamers by gamers, a little letter here from Razer CEO, Min Liang Tan, and then we have the user manual for the Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse as well, basically telling you everything you need to know about your new mouse. In terms of package contents, there's really not much in here. No cable included, no wired mode. Wow, just one battery? Cool. So the mouse came packaged just like this, and wow, looking at these mice side by side, they really do look very similar, but at the same time there are some key differences. The Basilisk Ultimate that we have right here that just lit up, this has RGB lighting absolutely all over the place. On the scroll wheel, the Razer logo, the side of the mouse here, the other side of the mouse here. So this has a whole load of RGB lighting if you're into that kind of thing. And it also has two buttons up here instead of one. And the scroll wheel itself is actually completely different entirely. The scroll wheel on Razer's Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse doesn't have the ability to scroll click left or right, whereas on the Basilisk Ultimate mouse here, you do get the ability to scroll click both left, right, which is of course an added bonus. And the scroll wheel on here happens to be adjustable. So you can go ahead and adjust the resistance required to scroll, and this also impacts the sound that the scroll makes and the tactile feel of it. So you get all that customizability in the Ultimate mouse, whereas on the cut down Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse, you don't get that. Also, the mouse cannot be used in wired mode, whereas on the Ultimate version, it can be used in wired mode or wireless mode up to you. But where the Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse does shine is the ability to quickly switch between the 2.4 GHz HyperSpeed connection or the Bluetooth connection, just like that. Right, now you may have noticed that this mouse happens to come with a battery. That is right. So all you gotta do is you gotta pop open this part of the mouse and wow, you can insert your battery just like this. We can close this little panel. Okay, so it just kind of like snaps back into place. Boom, pretty simple. And the dongle, wait, let's take this off again, because we do need our 2.4 gigahertz dongle that happens to be actually quite well hidden inside of the mouse right there. Well, I think without further ado, we should probably switch to 2.4 gigahertz. I don't know if this will do anything on its own. And let's plug this mouse into the PC right here. Straight away, Razer Basilisk X HyperSpeed is being set up and the mouse is immediately working. Will it be detected by, Razer Synapse? Right, so the device has been set up in Windows. However, Razer Synapse, I don't know if it's detected the fact that, there's a new Razer device plugged in. Also, this mouse kind of looks like it's turned off all the time for me, because I'm used to using this, the Basilisk Ultimate, which, always has RGB, and you can clearly see that, hey, the mouse is working. But on the cut down version here, it kind of looks like the mouse is, turned off. Okay, what I'm gonna do is restart my PC. All right, so the mouse has finally been detected on Razer Synapse 3. Everything's in working order, everything's all good. So in the Customize tab right here, you get a total of 6 programmable buttons, 6 or 7, depending on how you look at it, I guess, but you can, reprogram your right click to do other things as well. But pretty much every single button on this mouse can be reprogrammed in Razer Synapse 3 to do just about anything you want. That can involve you typing a bunch of text, Windows shortcuts like launching a calculator. It can be multimedia related things like muting your microphone, next track, play pause, volume up, mute volume, launching a program, a website, being the Razer Hypershift key, switching profiles, macro, sensitivity stages, mouse functions, keyboard functions, a whole bunch of stuff. This mouse is very customizable, as with pretty much all Razer mice that support Razer Synapse. So that's basically the Customize tab. You do of course get forward and back buttons as well as mechanical mouse switches. Bear in mind though that Razer used a different type of mouse switch on this mouse as opposed to the Ultimate version. The Basilisk Ultimate mouse that I have right here, the bigger brother of course, features Razer's optical mouse switches, whereas this one features Razer's, once again I guess Razer's previous generation technology, in this case being mechanical mouse switches, which are still absolutely great. They sound very similar to the upgraded versions, the optical mouse switches. They feel and sound pretty similar to the mouse switches found in the Basilisk Ultimate. No complaints on my end. These are still very, very good mouse switches. They feel good, they sound good. And not only that, but they are rated for a whopping 50 million key clicks each, so you don't have to worry about your mouse switches potentially breaking on you, as these are very durable, rated at a whopping 50 million key clicks each. They're pretty good. Getting back to Razer Synapse though, the Performance tab. This of course features sensitivity stages as well as polling rate adjustment. The polling rate can be adjusted all the way from 125 up to 1000, pretty standard stuff here. And then the sensitivity stages, very standard as well. You can of course get up to 5 sensitivity stages, which you can quickly switch through by pressing the DPI button beneath the scroll wheel. So we can just press this guy, and now we're on stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, and then finally back down to stage 1. Of course, every single one of these stages you can adjust the DPI and set it to whatever you want, which is of course always great. Plenty of customizability there for you. But what I'm going to do is probably set this down to either 1 stage or 2 stages. Probably going to keep it at 2. I'm going to keep stage 1 at 800 and then stage 2 at a whopping 16,000 DPI, so that when I'm playing Counter-Strike, I can randomly switch to 16,000 DPI and just begin to spin like a madman in CSGO. Moving on to the other tab though, calibration. This mouse does support Razer's new smart tracking technology, which is good to see, and you can adjust the tracking distance all the way down from 1mm up to 2. I think at default it was set to 2mm, but I did drop mine down to just 1mm. And then there is of course the preset calibration settings, which can allow you to choose a different surface for your mouse mat, but I would recommend you just keep it on smart tracking and you're going to be absolutely fine. I don't think there's any need to go into preset calibration and manually select the mouse mat that you own from Razer, as these settings right here, I'm not sure if Razer even know this themselves, but they haven't added the Firefly V2 to this new preset calibration. So the new mouse mat that I have from Razer, the Firefly V2, isn't even available as a surface to choose from in Razer's own software. So I feel like they might eventually ditch this preset calibration thing in the future and just stick to smart tracking, which I'm sure is just a much better way of going about things anyway. And then finally we have the power tab right here, which allows you to adjust the wireless power saving mode in the mouse. So when the mouse is idle for 5 minutes in this case, the mouse will go into sleep mode to preserve battery life. Speaking of battery life, by the way, this mouse has a very impressive 450 hours of total battery life using that AA battery that it does come with, but that is in Bluetooth mode. When using the mouse in the Razer HyperSpeed mode, of course ideal for gaming, you probably shouldn't be gaming with Bluetooth mode enabled. Always try to switch to HyperSpeed when possible, when gaming, just to have, less latency in general, especially when playing games like Counter-Strike. You could probably get away with playing in Bluetooth mode on more casual games, but if you're playing like a first-person shooter, probably stick to HyperSpeed mode. And in HyperSpeed mode, the mouse will last for I think a total of around 285 hours on this AA battery, but bear in mind, when that battery dies, you're going to need to buy a new one. You can go ahead and check the battery life of your Razer Basilisk HyperSpeed mouse as well by looking over in the top right hand corner of your Razer Synapse 3 software. And as you can see right here, we're pretty much at maximum battery right here. However, as days go on, this will probably drop down. My recommendation in this case would be to just use rechargeable batteries. Pick up like Duracell's rechargeable battery, like a pretty good one that will last you a long time, and just pop that into the mouse. And when that rechargeable battery dies, just swap it over with a new one and do the same thing over and over again. Now, as this is a Razer mouse after all, let's test it out for gaming and see how it performs. This does of course use Razer's HyperSpeed technology, so I expect the gaming experience on this mouse to be absolutely perfect. Oh, this deathmatch is about to end. What have I joined? We got a case out of this, boys. Nice. Cause I wish you didn't mean M249 is a beast. Under attack, running far, far away. And I'd rather keep my distance from you. You don't gotta lie to me to get through. Push to pull me off into the deep. And let's pretend that nothing ever happened on that night. I do like this mouse though, the shape of it. It's just, I just like aiming with it, like it's just a bit easier, I feel like. I just like the shape of this mouse in general. God, I'm being shot from short, man. Who else is trying to shoot me? Oh, damn dude, how did I get that? Jeez, I didn't even think you could wallbang that and get a headshot with like an AWP. That's crazy. I shouldn't have spoke, 'cause you didn't feel the same way about me, and it's eating me alive all of the time. So I'd rather keep my distance from. Oh, we didn't do too bad. We got a few pretty cool kills there. So in conclusion, should you buy the Razer Basilisk HyperSpeed mouse? Honestly, for $60, this mouse is still pretty damn good. It's so similar to its bigger brother, the Basilisk Ultimate. The entire form factor of this mouse, at least for me, is near perfect. I just really like the design of the mouse and the way it feels in my hand, the way I can grip it. It just kind of gives me like a bigger sense of confidence when playing games like Counter-Strike. For example, with the Razer Viper Ultimate mouse, this is like an ambidextrous design for left-handed and right-handed people, and I can't really grip the mouse the way I can grip the Basilisk HyperSpeed mouse or the Basilisk Ultimate. Just this form factor of a mouse I really do like. It just feels nice, and for $60, if you can experience this, like, this is a good mouse. Especially now that Razer has packed their HyperSpeed technology into this mouse, not only do you get a very comfortable mouse to use at a very good price point, it also features Razer's newest technology in terms of wireless transmission. So for $60, man, this mouse is sick. Really love it. The only thing it's kind of missing, I suppose, is RGB, but nevertheless, it's a great mouse for $60 especially. It's cool. If you want the extra bling and the RGB, feel free to take a look at the Basilisk Ultimate mouse, but bear in mind that you will be paying $110 more for the Ultimate version. And I feel like what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to post a dedicated review video between the $60 Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse and the $170 Basilisk Ultimate mouse. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Link in the description, of course, to where you can buy the Basilisk X HyperSpeed mouse, both to Amazon and the Razer store. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye.